aerospace company SpaceX have arrived in the International Space Station earlier today. SpaceX is headed by South African billionaire Elon Musk, well, former South African, we'll claim him anyway. He's now staying in the US. To take us through the launch, we are joined via Skype by SABC's satellite specialist, Khutso Matlala. Dish boy, as I like to call him. Khutso, speak to us. What are the interesting times of our lives? I've always wondered, what is the big thing about space launches? You must have been jumping up and down viewing that.
Yeah, Taviso, it was really a great thing to witness. I'm glad it's happening in our lifetime. Space launches have been happening for many, many years, but since SpaceX has joined this business, they've revolutionized the way that space launches are done. And as we've witnessed with the one that just docked now and arrived at the International Space Station, is that it's the first time since 2011 that astronauts are being launched from American soil. Not only is it a big event in the space world, but the way that they are doing it, they've basically torn up the rule books of how you do space launches. In that, if you watched yesterday or last night rather, you'd have seen that their main rocket, which is their first stage, the biggest part on that rocket, actually returns down to Earth. And they can reuse that over and over again. And so that saves them a lot of cost. So last night's mission left Florida, and they just docked about an hour ago. They arrived at the International Space Station successfully, and soon they should be leaving the capsule and joining the other astronauts in the International Space Station.
With regards to what the space expedition, as it were, the importance, for example, people like yourself, people like ourselves, broadcasters, what does it open up in terms of a frontier for broadcasting or gadgetry, as it were, when you go upstairs? I mean, what does it do for us?
All right. It actually does a lot for most of the population. These guys are not only going there to just dock and come back, but they're going there for scientific research, for experiments. The International Space Station, as it is a lab in the sky where you can do experiments in zero gravity, where you can test things that you cannot test on Earth. So the benefits will by far benefit us and everybody else. And in the broadcasting world, we are watching pictures live from space right now as it docks, as they're going to go into and join the other astronauts. We're going to be seeing that live. So as a broadcaster, me seeing that happening, if they can do it from out of this world, surely we can do bigger miracles.
That's what I was thinking of when I thought of you, because I know, having worked with you, whether it's Olympic Games out in Brazil, whether it's out in China, you guys, we take it for granted, people at home saying, that's how we get a picture here. But the complexity of what you guys do, that's why I'm saying, I'm sure you're jumping out and up and down like a kid in a candy store. Putting this together is astronomical, excuse the pun, so to speak.
Yeah, no, it is, Taviso. And I did jump. I'm still jumping up and down. As soon as this interview ends, I'm running in there to watch the rest of the docking. When they said it's 19 hours, if I didn't have to come to work today, I probably would have stayed for 19 hours watching history in the making. And like I said, the space launches have been happening. It's just the way they are doing it, which is different. And it's just changed how it will be done in future. And it's actually also slashed the price of launching anything into space, whether it's astronauts, equipment, satellites, which benefits us. It is really a way that's going to make it cheaper for other companies to start thinking out of this world.
Yeah, importantly as well, you mentioned the fact that the big fuselage, or I'm not quite sure what you call it, the big rocket that burns all the fuel. Exactly. You see, I don't know these things. That's why you're the dish boy. The big thing that comes back to Earth, in the past, how did it work? I mean, we've seen the movies where Apollo 13, Apollo 11 goes up, some burn, come down. How did it work in the past, and how have this company run by Elon Musk revolutionized space travel, as it were?
Okay, in the past, just putting this story into context is that prior to 2011 or 2011 going backwards, America used the space shuttle, which is the one that looked like an aeroplane. It took off just like the rocket that you are seeing now taking off. It would go into space, it would perform the same missions, but it would come back and land like an aeroplane. That was very expensive, and they only had one vehicle that they used. But unfortunately for them, they had two incidents where astronauts' lives were lost, and the costs for running the shuttle program were just becoming too big. That's when NASA decided to partner with private companies. And back then, there was no private company that was launching anything into space. It was the Russians, it was the Americans that were doing it. And the partnership started, and today we are seeing the results of that partnership, where Boeing and SpaceX were contracted by NASA to change or make safety better and make it cheaper to launch humans, cargo, satellite into space. And so that's what it's moved from. So from the shuttle, now we have what you are seeing today on the pictures there. And while all of this was happening, the Russians are very successful. They're still using all that trusted technology. They have launched thousands of times into space using the Russian Soyuz. Now, the Russian Soyuz was designed back in the days. You're talking 1970s, 80s technology, which is working very well till today. But they don't bring back their first stage or their biggest part of their rocket. So they are still quite expensive to launch. And these guys have just changed that by bringing back that first stage and therefore slashing the price or the cost of launching anything into space.
I know you've got the number, Elon Musk. You want to call him for a trip up to space soon?
When I was there last year, I hoped I would meet him in person to actually ask for that request. But I hope the connections that I made when I met with some of their engineers there would assist me in that matter.
Yeah, but they left you behind. Khutso Matlala, thank you very much indeed for joining us right on SABC News Channel. He's part of the team we call the Dish Boys here on SABC News. Everything you see at home, it goes through them. That's all the beautiful pictures that you get HD, no matter where you are in the world. Trust Khutso and his team to make sure that SABC News gets you the live best pictures, as it were, to your television sets at home. We'll take a quick break. Stay with us. There's still more news to come for you on SABC News Channel.